say, Dom?
We talking or we racing?
Just don't cheat this time.
Gotta let that go.
How did a franchise that started with stolen DVD players, underground street races, and a simple story about family end up launching a car into space? The Fast and Furious franchise is one of Hollywood's greatest success stories, but it's also one of the clearest examples of how a series that forgot what made people fall in love with it in the first place. This is the rise and fall of Fast and Furious. Back in 2001, Fast and Furious wasn't trying to save the world. It wasn't competing with superhero movies. It wasn't sending cars into orbit. It was a simple story. An undercover cop, a charismatic street racer, and the dangerous world of illegal racing. The chemistry between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel instantly became the heart of the franchise.
Dude, I almost had you.
You almost had me.
Brian represented the audience, Dom represented freedom, loyalty, and a code of honor. And together they created something special. The cars mattered, the racing mattered, the stakes felt real. Most importantly, the characters felt human. The franchise struggled after the first movie. Vin Diesel left. The second film felt disconnected. Tokyo Drift introduced a completely new cast, and for a moment it seemed like Fast and Furious might become another forgotten early 2000s franchise. But Tokyo Drift accidentally gave the franchise one of its best characters, Han.
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
Cool, relaxed, and endlessly charismatic. Fans loved him, and that decision would become important later. In 2009, the original crew reunited. Suddenly, Fast and Furious mattered again, but nobody expected what would happen next. Fast 5 didn't just save the franchise, it reinvented it. For many fans, including me, Fast 5 is where the franchise reached peak performance. Not because it was the biggest, but because it found the perfect balance. It wasn't just about racing anymore, but it also hadn't abandoned its roots. It became a team heist action movie, yet somehow it still felt like Fast and Furious. The introduction of Dwayne Johnson as Hobbs added exactly what the series needed. An unstoppable force chasing an equally unstoppable Dominic Toretto. And then came the wall chase. A ridiculous idea but executed perfectly. It was larger than life but still believable enough to keep audiences invested. This was Fast and Furious at its absolute peak.
I'll see you soon.
No, you won't.
Fast and Furious 6 pushed things further. The action became bigger, the physics became questionable, but audiences were still having fun. Looking back, the warning signs were already there. The franchise was slowly discovering that every movie had to be bigger than the last one, and that is a dangerous game. Because eventually, bigger becomes absurd.
Dominic Toretto. You don't know me. You're about to.
Then came Furious 7, a movie shaped by tragedy. During production, Paul Walker passed away. The franchise faced an impossible challenge of finishing the film while honoring one of its most beloved stars. And somehow, they did it. The ending of Furious 7 wasn't just an ending for Brian. It felt like the ending of an era. The final drive, the split in the road, the farewell. It was emotional and it felt complete.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute me, familia.
This is your car.
My car?
If the franchise had ended right there, many fans would probably consider it one of the greatest action franchises ever made. But Hollywood almost never stops when the money keeps coming. After Furious 7, the franchise lost its emotional center. Brian was gone, the story felt complete, yet the movies kept escalating. Even the spin-off Hobbs Shaw felt like a sign of where the franchise was heading. What began as a street racing saga had now become a globe-trotting action spectacle, featuring cyber-enhanced villains, superhuman stunts, and set pieces that felt closer to a superhero movie than Fast and Furious. It was entertaining in its own way, but it barely resembled the franchise that fans had fallen in love with back in 2001. First, it was a submarine, then magnetic supercars, then space, yes, space. The problem wasn't that the movies became unrealistic, the problem was that the franchise stopped caring about consequences. Characters became superheroes, death became temporary, stakes disappeared. Fast 5 made you believe the crew could fail. Later movies made it feel like nothing could touch them. Ask most fans why they fell in love with Fast and Furious, and you will rarely hear because they drove a car into space. You will hear the cars, the races, the garage culture, music, Brian and Dom, most importantly, family.
I don't have friends. I got family.
The feeling that these characters lived in a world we could almost imagine existing. But somewhere along the way, that identity faded. The franchise became obsessed with topping itself instead of understanding itself. The story of Fast and Furious is fascinating. It began as a small street racing movie, evolved into one of the greatest action franchises of the 2010s, reached perfection with Fast 5, delivered a near perfect farewell with Furious 7, and then kept going long after the finish line. Maybe that's the lesson. Not every franchise needs to last forever. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't building something great, it's knowing when to stop. And for Fast and Furious, the perfect ending was already there. It happened in 2015.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
What's your favorite Fast and Furious movie? Do let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, then do subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.